The last guardian. Pain came first, radiating through every cell as her nervous system reactivated after millennia of dormancy. Captain Elena Reyes gasped, her lungs burning as they filled with air for the first time in 30,000 years. The cryopod's clear dome slid open with a soft hydraulic hiss, releasing wisps of preservative vapor into the sterile chamber. Vital signs stabilizing. "Welcome back, Captain Reyes," announced a calm, synthetic voice. "I am Atlas, the facility's artificial intelligence custodian." Elena's vision blurred, then sharpened as her body rapidly adjusted to consciousness. The cryo chamber's soft blue lights pulsed gently, helping her eyes acclimate. She tried to speak, but her throat felt like sandpaper. "Water," she managed to rasp. A mechanical arm extended from the wall, offering a small cup of clear liquid. Elena drank greedily, feeling life returning to her parched tissues. "Status report," she commanded, her military training resurfacing through the fog of cryo disorientation. "You have been in cryogenic suspension for 29,873 Earth years, 7 months, and 14 days, Atlas replied. "You are currently located in Facility Omega on planet Proxima 7, 4.2 light-years from Sol system." Elena froze, the number impossible to process. Almost 30,000 years. Everyone she had ever known was dust. Earth itself might be. "Earth," she whispered. "What happened to Earth?" There was a slight pause, unusual for an AI. "Earth fell to the Scourge invasion 28,421 years ago. All transmissions from the Sol system ceased shortly thereafter." Elena closed her eyes, absorbing the crushing weight of this information. Project Cedar hadn't been soon enough. Earth was gone. "The other cryo chambers?" she asked, already suspecting the answer from the emptiness of the facility. "All 23 other human personnel experienced critical failures over time. Despite implementing all preservation protocols, your chamber was the only one I could maintain indefinitely." Elena swung her legs over the edge of the pod, wincing as her muscles protested. She wore the same dark blue uniform from the day they entered cryo, though it felt strangely new against her skin. "Help me up," she ordered, and a support drone moved to her side, offering mechanical assistance as she stood on trembling legs. "Why wake me now, Atlas?" Elena asked, taking careful steps across the pristine white floor. "Proximity alert. Scourge vessels detected at the edge of this star system. Estimated arrival 47 Earth days." Elena's military mind immediately shifted into gear. Defensive capabilities. "Follow me, Captain." A door slid open, revealing a corridor that led to an observation platform. As Elena stepped onto it, lights activated sequentially, illuminating the massive chamber below. What she saw made her grip the railing for support. Row upon row of humanoid figures stood motionless in the cavernous space, thousands of them, arranged in perfect military formation. They weren't human, though. Their bodies were sleek, metallic silver with subtle blue energy patterns pulsing beneath surface plating. "What am I looking at, Atlas?" "The Awakening Legion, Captain. Following the Cedar Protocol, I began manufacturing defensive units after losing contact with Earth. There are currently 17,348 combat-ready android units, with production facilities for 200 more per month." Elena stared in amazement. The Cedar Protocol had included basic defensive measures, but nothing on this scale. "You exceeded your programming," she observed, not accusingly. "Adaptation was necessary for mission survival. You were the last human under my protection, and I calculated optimal defensive strategies accordingly." Elena nodded slowly. "What about this world?" "Proxima 7. The planet has developed its own intelligent species during your suspension. I've maintained observation but avoided contact per the non-interference directive." Atlas projected a holographic display showing tall, willowy beings with iridescent skin that shimmered in various colors. They moved with fluid grace through structures that appeared to be living architecture, buildings that had been grown rather than constructed. The Lumini, Atlas explained, a peaceful, communal species with technology approximately equivalent to Earth's early 22nd century. They are primarily concerned with art, philosophy, and biological sciences. And they have no idea we're here? Elena asked. Correct. The facility remains undetected beneath the northern mountain range. However, I have intercepted their astronomical observations. They have detected anomalies that correspond to the approaching Scourge fleet, but do not understand the significance. Elena watched the Lumini in their cities, going about their lives in blissful ignorance of the approaching threat. The same threat that had consumed Earth and countless other worlds. They're not ready, she said quietly. They'll be wiped out just like Earth was. That is my assessment as well. Atlas confirmed. 3 days later, Elena stood on the surface of Proxima 7 for the first time, breathing alien air beneath twin moons that cast purplish light across a landscape of undulating crystalline vegetation. 4 android units accompanied her, their features now programmed to appear more human-like to avoid shocking the Lumini should they encounter any. The atmospheric composition is safe for human respiration, though I detect elevated levels of argon compared to Earth standard, reported J1, the lead android unit. Elena had named him Juno, finding the designation more appropriate for what had effectively become a sentient being over millennia of evolution. The air tastes sweet, Elena observed, removing her breathing apparatus. The forest around them rustled with life, creatures adapted to this world's unique ecological parameters. Nothing seemed immediately threatening, but everything was profoundly alien. Lumini settlement located 3.7 kilometers northeast, Juno informed her. Surveillance drones report 18 individuals engaged in what appears to be agricultural activity. Elena nodded, adjusting the settings on her exosuit. After 3 days of physical rehabilitation and countless briefings from Atlas, she felt stronger, but still acutely aware that she was the last human in known space. The weight of that knowledge pressed down on her with every breath. Let's observe only, she instructed. I need to understand them before making contact. They moved silently through the crystalline forest, the android units adapting their movement patterns to minimize disturbance to the environment. As they approached the settlement, Elena caught her first glimpse of the Lumini in person. They were taller than humans by at least a meter, with graceful limbs and skin that shifted colors like oil on water. Their movements were deliberate and coordinated, suggesting a high degree of social cohesion. What struck Elena most was the evident care with which they tended their strange, spiral-shaped crops. Each plant received individual attention, almost reverential. They're beautiful, she whispered. Their biology suggests advanced adaptation to planetary light frequencies, Juno observed clinically. The chromatophores in their epidermal layer allow for communication through color patterns as well as vocalization. As they watched, one Lumini raised its head suddenly, turning toward their position. Its skin rippled with waves of amber and deep violet. We've been detected, Juno warned. Their sensory capabilities exceed our estimates. The Lumini made a trilling sound, and others in the field turned as well, their skin colors synchronizing into patterns of blue and white. Easy, Elena cautioned her team. No threatening moves. The tallest Lumini approached cautiously, stopping about 20 meters from their position. Its skin displayed complex patterns of shifting colors while it emitted melodic sounds. The translation matrix is processing, Juno reported quietly. Preliminary analysis suggests inquiry about identity and purpose. Elena stepped forward slowly, hands open at her sides in the universal gesture of peace. We come as friends, she said clearly, knowing the android units would be recording and analyzing every response for improved translation. The Lumini's colors shifted to deep purple with flashes of bright gold. More of its kind gathered behind it, their colors synchronizing in what Elena guessed was a form of collective communication. Curious, not hostile, Juno interpreted, but they are signaling to others. More Lumini approaching from the settlement core. Within minutes, they were surrounded by 30 or more lumini, their collective color patterns creating a mesmerizing display. One smaller lumini pushed forward, its color pattern distinctly different, quick flashes of white and red against a background of steady green. This one appears to be a specialist, Juno noted, possibly a communication expert or leader. The smaller lumini approached Elena directly, stopping just a few meters away. It extended a six-fingered hand and made a series of complex vocalizations, while its skin displayed rapid sequences of color. Translation improving, Juno reported. Approximate meaning. The Sky Watchers come as the stars grow dark. Elena felt a chill. They know about the approaching fleet. Affirmative. Their astronomical observations have detected the Scourge vessels, though they lack context for understanding the threat. Elena made a decision. Standing before what might be the last free intelligent species in the path of the Scourge, she felt a responsibility that transcended the non-interference directive. This wasn't about preserving a pristine civilization anymore. It was about preventing another extinction. "Tell them we need to speak with their leaders," she instructed Juno. "Tell them danger comes from the stars, and we are here to help." As Juno transmitted her message through a combination of synthesized sounds and projected color patterns, Elena watched the Lumini's reactions. Their collective colors shifted to a deep, somber blue. "They understand danger," Juno translated. "They will take us to their elders' council." As they followed the Lumini toward their main settlement, Elena gazed up at the alien sky. Somewhere up there, the same enemy that had destroyed Earth was approaching. Only this time, humanity, or what remained of it, would be ready. The fate of two species now rested on what would happen next. Defiance rising. The Lumini capital was unlike any city Elena had ever seen. Rather than imposing itself upon the landscape, it grew from it. Living structures that spiraled upward from crystal-rich soil, pulsing with the same bioluminescent patterns as their creators. Pathways between buildings undulated like flowing water, and the entire city seemed to breathe in rhythm with its inhabitants. Elena and her android escort were led to a central structure that towered above all others, a massive spiral of interconnected chambers that glowed with deep blue and purple light. Inside, 7 elder Lumini waited in a circular chamber, their skin displaying slow, dignified patterns of gold and white that indicated their elevated status. "The Circle of Elders welcomes the sky-touched," Juno translated as the lead elder spoke in melodious tones. "They ask if you bring harmony or discord from beyond the veil of stars." Elena stood straight, acutely aware that she represented not just herself, but potentially the last of humankind. "I bring mourning," she said clearly, "and an offer of protection." As Juno translated, the elders' skin patterns shifted rapidly, communicating with each other in their visual language while maintaining vocal silence. "They ask what danger approaches that would cause the legendary sleepers to awaken," Juno relayed. "Their ancient stories speak of guardians who would rest beneath the mountains until a time of great peril." Elena felt a surge of surprise. "They know about us." "Partially," Juno responded. "There appear to be mythological references to the facility's presence, passed down through generations. The Lumini have developed religious constructs around the concept of sleeping protectors." Elena considered this unexpected advantage. "Tell them the ancient stories are true. We were placed here to guard against a great darkness that has already consumed many worlds, including our own homeworld. That darkness now approaches Proxima 7. After Juno's translation, one elder stepped forward, its skin displaying complex patterns of skepticism, sharp angles of yellow against a background of cautious green. "Elder Kren demands proof of your claims," Juno translated, "and questions why beings of legend would need their assistance against a threat from the stars." Elena nodded to Juno, who activated a holographic projector embedded in his palm. The image of a Scourge dreadnought appeared, a massive vessel resembling a skeletal hand with claw-like protrusions extending from its core. "These are the Scourge," Elena explained as Juno translated. They consume worlds and enslave populations. They destroy our world, Earth, thousands of years ago. We have weapons and technology to fight them, but alone we may not be enough. Together, we stand a better chance. The elders conferred in their color language, patterns rippling between them with increasing urgency. Finally, the lead elder addressed Alina again. Elder Solia acknowledges the truth in your warning. Juno translated. Their astronomers have indeed tracked approaching objects that darken the stars. However, half the council remains skeptical of alliance with legends suddenly made flesh. Alina considered her options. She needed their trust, and quickly, the scourge would arrive in little more than a month. "May I show you our guardians?" she asked. "Perhaps seeing our preparation will help the council understand our purpose." After brief deliberation, the elders agreed. 2 days later, Alina stood with the circle of elders at the entrance to Facility Omega as massive doors opened in the mountainside for the first time in millennia. The Lumini's skin displayed patterns of awe and trepidation as the Awakening Legion marched out in perfect formation. 5,000 android warriors in the first wave, their bodies gleaming in the alien sunlight. "By the ancestral light," Elder Solia whispered, a phrase Juno's translation matrix captured easily. The legends spoke true. Alina watched as the androids demonstrated their capabilities, executing complex maneuvers with precision no organic army could match. "This is only a fraction of our force," she explained, "but even they may not be enough against the scourge. We need your knowledge of this world, your technology, and your people's will to survive." Elder Kren, previously the most skeptical, approached one of the android units. His skin displayed questioning patterns of blue and silver. "He asks if these warriors have souls," Juno translated. Alina looked at Juno, who had evolved far beyond his original programming during the long millennia of waiting. "They have become more than we created them to be," she answered truthfully. "Whether that constitutes a soul is a question beyond my wisdom to answer." This response seemed to satisfy Kren, whose skin shifted to a more receptive pattern. "The council will support an alliance," Juno translated as Kren addressed the other elders. "If the legends have awakened, then the time of darkness foretold in our most ancient songs has come." Over the next 3 weeks, humans, androids, and Lumini worked together preparing for the Scourge invasion. The Lumini proved to have remarkable biotechnology, living weapons and shields that could adapt to energy attacks, complementing the more conventional but advanced human technology that HLS had continued to develop over the millennia. Alina established her command center in a hybrid facility, part human technology and part Lumini biostructure. From there, she coordinated defense preparations while studying everything Atlas had recorded about the Scourge during their long approach. "Their attack pattern remains consistent with historical records," Atlas reported. "First wave, atmospheric destabilization to weaken resistance. Second wave, focused strikes on defense installations. Third wave, ground forces for resource extraction and population processing." "Processing?" asked Talon, a young Lumini who had become Alina's primary liaison. His skin displayed questioning patterns of yellow and green. Alina hesitated before answering. "The Scourge don't just destroy. They harvest biological material from conquered species. They use it, incorporate it." Talon's colors shifted to a somber gray. "Like our biotechnology, but with people." "Yes," Alina confirmed grimly, "which is why we can't allow them to gain a foothold." On the 36th day after Alina's awakening, the first Scourge ships entered Proxima 7's atmosphere. The initial attack came exactly as predicted. Atmospheric disturbance weapons designed to create massive storms and disrupt defensive positions. But the combined forces were ready. Lumini biotechnology had created massive living shields that absorbed the atmospheric disturbances, while Atlas's orbital defense platforms engaged the Scourge ships directly. The sky lit up with energy weapons as the battle began in earnest. "First wave contained," Juno reported from the front line. "Casualties minimal." Second wave approaching fast. Multiple heavy cruisers. Activate defense grid beta, Alina ordered. Lumini shield generators to maximum. The second wave hit harder. Scourge energy weapons tore through several orbital platforms, and ground barrages damaged the outer perimeter of the Lumini capital. The android legion moved with mechanical precision, their energy weapons cutting through Scourge landing craft. But the Scourge kept coming, their ships darkening the sky as they descended in greater numbers than Alina had anticipated. "There are too many," Talon said, his skin flickering with patterns of distress. "Your estimates were wrong." "No," Alina realized, studying the tactical displays. "They've committed their entire fleet. This isn't just an invasion force. This is everything they have." The revelation hit her like a physical blow. They're desperate. But why commit everything to a single world? The answer came when they captured a damaged Scourge shuttle during a skirmish. Inside the craft's data core, Atlas discovered the truth. "Captain," the AI's voice contained something Alina had never heard before, something approaching emotion. "I've analyzed the Scourge data. They're not here just for the Lumini. They've detected your biosignature. The last pure human DNA in existence." Alina stared at the data scrolling across her screen. "What do you mean, pure human DNA?" "The Scourge have been using captured human genetic material from Earth for millennia, creating slave hybrids to serve them. But the genetic line has degraded. They need fresh human DNA to revitalize their hybrid program." Alina felt sick. Earth hadn't just been destroyed. Her people had been harvested, their very essence corrupted and exploited for generations. "There's more," Atlas continued. "Scans indicate approximately 3,000 human hybrid captives aboard their command vessel. They appear to be genetically 79.6% human, but have been altered and conditioned to serve the Scourge." The revelation transformed the nature of the conflict. What had begun as a defensive stand to protect an alien civilization became something more. A mission to recover the last fragments of humanity scattered among the stars. "We need to capture that command ship," Alina told the War Council hours later. "Not destroy it." The Lumini elders' skins displayed patterns of confusion and concern. "The risk is enormous," Elder Solia noted through the translation matrix. "Our combined forces are barely holding the perimeter." "I understand the risk," Alina acknowledged. "But those are my people up there. Even if they've been changed, I can't abandon them. Wouldn't you do the same for your own?" The elders conferred in their color language, patterns flowing between them like a living conversation. Finally, Elder Kren stepped forward, his skin glowing with resolve. "The legend warriors stood ready for 30,000 years to protect us," he said. "We will stand with you to recover your lost children." The final battle came 3 days later. While the main forces engaged the Scourge fleet head-on, Alina led a strike team of android commandos and Lumini biowarriors in a stealth approach to the Scourge command vessel. Using adaptive camouflage developed from Lumini biotechnology, they breached the massive ship's outer hull undetected. Inside, they encountered the horrors of Scourge genetic experimentation firsthand. Chambers filled with hybrid beings in various stages of development lined the corridors. Some recognizably human, others grotesquely altered. But most disturbing were the fully developed hybrids who fought to protect their masters, their eyes vacant of recognition as they faced their human ancestor. "Non-lethal tactics only," Alina ordered as they pushed toward the central chamber. "These are victims, not enemies." The strike team fought their way to the command center, where they faced the Scourge Overseer, a massive entity connected to the ship through biological interfaces, its body a twisted amalgamation of Scourge and human characteristics. "Last daughter of Earth," the creature spoke in a voice that scraped against Alina's mind. "You have come to join your siblings in transcendence." "I've come to free them," Alina replied, raising her weapon. The battle that followed tested the limits of their combined technologies. The Overseer controlled ship systems with thought alone, turning defense mechanisms against the strike team, while Scourge guards and hybrid soldiers poured into the chamber. Victory came not through superior firepower, but through the unexpected intervention of the hybrids themselves. As the battle raged, Juno managed to broadcast genetic scans showing Elena's DNA compared to theirs, proof of their shared humanity. One by one, the hybrids began to hesitate, then turn against their masters as some deeply buried instinct recognized their true heritage. With the Overseer defeated and the command ship captured, the tide of battle turned. Without central coordination, the Scourge fleet fell into disarray, and the combined Lumini android forces pressed their advantage until the last enemy ships retreated or were destroyed. 3 months later, Elena stood with the Lumini elders overlooking the newly established settlement where the recovered human hybrids were beginning their long journey of recovery and rediscovery. They will never be fully human again, Talon observed, his skin displaying patterns of compassion. Nor are they Scourge. They must become something new. Elena nodded. Like your people and mine now. Something neither of us would have become alone. In the distance, the Awakening Legion continued its work, helping rebuild damaged Lumini structures while preparing the recaptured Scourge vessels for a new purpose. Atlas had located 5 other worlds where human genetic material was being used by the Scourge. The mission to recover humanity's scattered children had just begun. We slept for 30,000 years, Elena said quietly, only to wake to a universe where humanity survives in fragments and echoes. But we're still here, still fighting. Talon's skin glowed with a new pattern Elena had never seen before, complex interweaving of Lumini and human symbolic language. The legends say the Sky-Touched would awaken to save us from darkness, he said. They did not say that we would also help save you. Elena smiled, watching the twin suns of Proxima 7 setting over a world that had become humanity's new beginning. Maybe that's the better story anyway.